12th different starting lineup this season. Relaford, Key, Cooper, Shannon Hale, the talented freshman, and Nick Jacobs in the front court for the Crimson Tide, who coming in 3-6 in conference play overall. Meanwhile, for Florida, Wilbekin, Frazier II, one of the top three-point shooters in the country. Casey Prather, the most improved player maybe in the country this year. Will Uget and Patrick Young providing the muscle on the front line for the Florida Gators. Florida coming off a win in a game Dick Hughes did against Missouri a couple of nights ago. Alabama, meanwhile, trying to bounce back after losing against Arkansas.
They lost a tough game against Arkansas with about 33 seconds. They had the ball and a chance to tie the game, but they came up short. Problem, very simple, scoring points. You can't score, it's tough to win.
We'll try and find some points here today. And these two teams played a relatively close game the first time out. It was a 68-62 victory for Florida, but they had to work for it.
Now, Reese Davis did that game with Bob Knight, and it was a good game. Bottom line is, though, again, coming up short offensively.
There's Frazier II.
Florida's not really scintillating on the offensive end. They can sort of keep you in the game if they can't make shots.
A little bit of a different Gator team this year. Not the usual Billy Donovan good three-point shooting team. Patrick Young with the rolling hook shot.
He's really been solid inside. That's a good start by going inside. And there's the relentless, tenacious defense. They're going to come after you.
Relaford swallowed up, and you get with the layup.
What a terrific trap. Alabama didn't do a good job to have a reverse guy to be able to swing the ball to the offside.
Got a whistle, and Scotty Wilbekin took a shot in the face. The official, Mike Thibodeau, stopped the play. And it looked like we might have an Alabama foul because of the elbow. Algie T was bringing the ball up court, and they're going to go to the monitor and try and sort this one out.
They're going to try to see if it was a flagrant foul.
Tell you, that Florida defense, though, Dick, swarming early, already got Alabama on its heels.
Well, they do that. They really come after you. If you don't handle the ball well on the perimeter and you're not effective there, it could be a long, long afternoon. Ask Texas A&M. They came here and they were obliterated. Is that the word, obliterated?
That's close, man. I got you.
Obliterated.
I got you.
That's out of my league, man.
Our officials today, Mike Nance, Patrick Evans, and Mike Thibodeau. We'll look at this, and here's the second time that Alabama tried to bring it up court against that Gator pressure. And there's Wilbekin, who suffered a host of injuries already this year. Took one right in the face.
That's really been one of the problems in terms of Florida. A lot of injuries. They've had injuries to a number of players, including Prather. This is one of the years, though, where he's been basically physically okay. He's had so many injuries throughout his career.
It looked like that left elbow, not there, but right there, caught Wilbekin.
I don't think it was deliberate. I don't think there was any intent there in any way, shape, or form to warrant a flagrant. I really don't. I think the kid was trying to huddling up. They're going to Billy Donovan. They're going to Anthony Grant.
Wilbekin, the good news for Florida, is still on the floor. Not going to have to sit this one out. And look at Anthony Grant, the former assistant coach for Billy Donovan here at Florida.
He was here when they won that national championship, one of the two in a row, before he headed to VCU and then to Alabama.
There's a look at the flagrant one definition, excessive and/or unnecessary. Still awaiting the call. So they're going to rule it a flagrant one, a swinging of the elbow.
Well, they got a swinging of the elbow there. They had a better view on there than we did sitting here.
Wilbekin going to go to the foul line, a 73% free throw shooter on the season. If he's still a little shaky, he should just aim for the rim in the middle.
He's been such a solid player for them. Defensively, offensively, he's a facilitator. Not a good start at all for Alabama on the road. I mean, you're spotting this club in the first minute already almost about 6-zip.
Yeah, great point. Wilbekin had 19 points and 4 assists, a solid game against Missouri in that victory a few nights ago. Went to the free throw line a bunch of times in that game, Dick.
He had 13, then he converted, had 19. I didn't think that he really swung that elbow with intent. Did you?
Yeah, no.
I'm like, that was my feeling here from where we are.
Florida with the basketball. Quick 6 on the board, leading 6-0. You get out top. Frazier got here early, taking jump shots, and it pays off. 8-0.
Wow. Wow. Frazier hit 3 in a row in the second half against Missouri to break that game open. Missouri played them really tough. Look at the way they swung. Look at the way they come after you. You don't see many teams attack defensively the way Florida does.
They've already used up a bunch of time on the shot clock. It's down to 15.
They got to get some looks for Relaford.
Here's Al-Jati out top.
Cooper had a big game against Arizona. Nice entry.
Jacobs inside off glass and good, and Alabama finally on the scoreboard. Jacobs with the bucket.
Well, Jacobs gets the score. He did a great job reversing the ball. Little high-low, slid inside and got himself a layup. Defensively, they've been okay. They're playing man-to-man. First time they played them, they played all zone.
Foul's going to go against Jacobs. That's his first personal foul, second team foul. Anthony Grandin's 5th season as head coach. His team coming into this one 9-13.
Anthony played at Dayton, was an outstanding player at Dayton. Had a tough break early this year. Started in the summer when he lost Lacey, transferred to NC State. The kid Pollard was involved in some major problems. He left. Bottom line is you lose 2 quality potential guys in your top 5. That hurts big time.
Devontae Pollard was a big-time recruit, just a freshman, too. Here's Uget working on the block with the left hand. Smooth will Uget.
Well, Uget was able to get across into the lane. Nobody rotated to close his driving angle.
Florida perfect 4 for 4 from the field, and that's going to be a reaching foul on Casey Prather. That's his first personal foul.
Florida did a great job containing the explosive guards of Missouri. Going to watch him right here. You get down in the post. I was going to spin to the lane. See, defense is going to rotate over and give help right there. That's when you talk team defense. People communicate with one another. It could be one guy, but the second guy's got to come over to help, bro.
He out front. There's Hale. Relaford had a quick look, then passed it up into traffic. He on the baseline stepped out of bounds. Florida making him go deep into the shot clock. That's the 3rd turnover already for the Crimson Tide. Can't afford many empty possessions against Florida today.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you look at Florida defensively, it only give up 57.4 points a game. When you give up 57 points a game, you got a chance to win.
What do you make of the fact that Alabama electing to go man-to-man in this game as opposed to the zone like you mentioned in the previous contest?
Well, I think we're going to see them rotating the zone because Florida, if anything, they can be a little quiet from the 3. You mentioned that earlier. Against Missouri, they were 1 for 11 to start the game.
On the baseline, Casey Prather.
They cannot man them. No way, shape, or form. There's too much talent at each position.
And University of Florida coming out early and landing a big body blow to the Crimson Tide. And they didn't get it over in time. A 10-second violation.
I'm going to tell you one thing. They're having a tough time getting the ball in the hands of Relaford. And that's a credit to the Florida team defensively. That was one of their keys. If you go into their locker room, basically, we must contain and control Relaford. And they're doing it.
Off to a great start here. We're just 3.5 minutes in.
They did a great job containing Rising's terrific Jamari Brown and also Jordan Clarkson out of Missouri. Both are really sensational.
Brown, one of the top shooters in the SEC.
They're zoning right now. They came out of the man-to-man.
And they got a turnover out of it. Up to Relaford.
Nice try.
Did it himself.
He's a big-time player. Brother was a player down in Kansas, now playing in Belgium. Travis Relaford.
Said that he was going to be watching today, Dick.
Yeah, he's watching what?
Hey, 5 hours ahead. It's like 5 o'clock in Belgium, and he's watching.
Wants to see his little bro, man. Hey, right there's that zone.
Robikin shreds it, though.
He does a great job. What I love about Robikin against the zone, as soon as he spots a gap, he attacks it. He attacks it off the bounce.
He's made so many big plays for the Gators this year. Off the top of your head, you think about the game winner that he made against Arkansas, that overtime contest in Fayetteville several weeks ago.
Relaford's got his hands tied up here playing this guy. And Robikin's guarding him as well.
Gets into the paint and makes a scoop shot and one. Trevor Relaford, big brother, would be proud of that one.
He's been big time, Mark. He's been big time all year long.
Timeout. We'll be back on the other side of this.
ESPN. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball.
Florida and Kentucky, man.
Think about all the great additions of that rivalry going back years. And Relaford going to the free throw line right now for Alabama. Neither team has missed a shot from the field. Florida perfect 6 for 6. The Tide a perfect 3 for 3, but they're down here early.
Down because of the defense and the lack of being able to handle the trap.
Relaford, one of the top free throw shooters in the country, has 5 points in the game.
You know, they have Lacey on the floor with him and Pollard. This is a different-looking team. Basketball, you get 2 players changing that whole equation. I mean, it's 40%. Yeah. You'd have to go to Harvard to figure out 2 out of 5 is 40%.
That's the struggles this year so far for Alabama.
There's that zone. Right, a little like a 1-3-1 rotation. See, right open, deep, down low. They go right to Young.
Finney Smith with a nice assist to Patrick Young.
Cooper's going to start putting points on the board. They had a double-double against Arkansas.
They got to find points from someone other than Relaford.
Absolutely.
Hale thought about it. Cooper with a nice show and go, and the mid-range jumper is good. And a whistle underneath. There's going to be a foul as well. Maybe against Casey Hill, who just checked into the ball game for the Gators, along with Finney Smith.
Substitution for Alabama, number 10, Jimmy Taylor.
As will you get now on the bench. A couple of subs coming in for the Gators.
Cooper, a good rebounder, too. Hit that little mid-range jump shot. He's also capable of shooting the 3. Passes the ball really well. Second on the team in assists.
Alabama trying to weather this early storm. There's Casey Hill, the talented freshman. Donald's All-American handling out top with Wilbekin in this 2-point guard look for the Gators.
There's big gaps in that zone.
10 on the shot clock. Wilbekin kicks it out to Hill. Wilbekin.
Oh, wide open.
Good patience. They get a great shot. Finney Smith missed it, though. I think maybe they overpassed a little bit on that one, Dick.
I thought a little too unselfish right there. I thought Wilbekin had that open 3 right at the top of the circle.
That was the game's first missed shot.
I got a feeling we'll see a few more missed shots.
Or blocked ones like that by Finney Smith.
Finney Smith's a great player off the bench. He has really given up a big lift all year long, a transfer. He's a Marco Polo guy. Came around at Virginia Tech.
Affectionately called Dodo, his nickname that his grandmother gave him. And they turn it over.
Sloppy right there. Got to make him pay for this.
Key. And he had it knocked out of bounds. It'll stay Alabama basketball.
Good job defensively rotating back by Florida because that looked like it would be a layup. Going to take the block shot right here. Tremendous job defensively. They love playing defense. You don't get many teams that really love playing defense. Guys want to be BMOC, big man on campus. They want everybody to love him, man, and strut. And they know nobody reads about defense. They read about the point total.
Defense ain't sexy yet.
Not sexy, man. But it wins games.
Pocket pass couldn't be handled, and going to be a jump ball situation. Arrow in favor of Alabama.
Talk about defense being sexy. Just ask the people in Seattle, man. And ask the people in Denver. Ask the Broncos about defense.
Sometimes #1 defense beats #1 offense. This Florida defense, the #1 team in the SEC in points per game against, as well as field goal percentage defense. Like we were talking about, this is a different kind of Florida team, but the result is the same. Not a lot of 3-point shooters as in the past.
I think the one thing of Billy Donovan, he's been so consistent here, year in and year out. He's brought so much success. What he's done for this program has been amazing. He's been a Frank Lloyd Wright, an architect. This program was nowhere where it is now.
Didn't think that it could be done. A lot of skeptics when he first took over. And Relaford with a long 3. And he's got a quick 8 points, keeping his team in the game, down by 4.
The only chance they have is getting the ball in Relaford's hands, as you said earlier, Mark. They're going to show a little pressure themselves.
Finney Smith on the drive and kicks it off to Yeget with a reverse.
I tell you, Yeget is a great guy on the baseline. He's a blender. He's a guy, tremendous role player. Defends, plays hard, part of the team.
Still rounding into form, coming off of off-season knee surgery. Obasahan missed on the layup.
Obasahan's got to put points on the board. He's the guy, the second leading scorer. He's got to help out Relaford.
Yeah, he was slumping a little bit of late. Had just 4 points in that loss against Arkansas.
Didn't play in the first matchup. He was out with a hip injury.
Raider double team at the elbow. Kicks it over to Devon Walker.
Trying to show some patience.
Into that short corner, Uget steps out.
Oh, bad pass.
Alabama with a chance to cut the lead to 4 here. Approaching 12 minutes to go in the first half.
Well, good things happen when Rutherford has that ball.
On the drive, Obasahan drew the foul. That's going to go against, looks like it's going to be against Casey Hill, freshman. And Hill actually started this year as the starting point guard, one of the few ever to do it at Florida because Wilbekin was out serving a suspension.
Yeah, he's really a solid kid in terms of handling the ball, point good, penetrate. He's going to work on his shot. I understand there's a pretty good point guard at Santa Fe Community College here in Florida, and I know one guy's going to go watch him play at 4 o'clock. His name is Shea Jones. They tell me he's pretty good, man. I know his daddy's going to go watch him play.
Yeah, after this one, I'm heading across town to watch them play and do his thing. Proud dad. Inside, Taylor with the jump hook, and there's a talented freshman.
Nice execution. Taylor gets the ball in deep. Little score. They got some good players coming in next year. I just hope Anthony's back. There's a lot of heat on there. He's such a quality guy, good people, knows basketball, good coach. But sometimes you're a victim of some tough situations. And I really believe, I don't want to overemphasize, but that loss of Lacey and Pollard was major.
Something to be said for riding out a little bit of a storm and sticking with a coach. Often breeds results off the block. Uget gets it back. 7 on the shot clock, though. They got to get to work here. Wilbekin, a little bit strong. Loose ball, and Alabama comes out with it. And a chance to cut the lead to 2.
One thing, the Bama kids are really playing hard. You look at their record, you would expect, you think it's a blowout by now, but they're fighting and scrapping.
Timeout on the floor. And Alabama taking that early body blow and making Coach Donovan think about it a little bit. Taylor working it.
And Mr. Collins at Northwestern, because in about 5-6 years, those guys are going to be so hot. It's unbelievable. I want to be their agent. I want to be their agent.
You might already be.
Their agent.
Yeah, Chris Collins doing a great job. In their first game against Wisconsin, they were down something like 40-12 in the first half. They go to Wisconsin and end up beating the Badgers in Madison.
Unbelievable.
Frazier with the baseline jumper might have been partially blocked underneath. Frazier couldn't get the shot off, and here we go. Alabama still hanging around, down by 4. And Key had nowhere to go, went into heavy traffic. Out of bounds, Alabama basketball.
Key's an attacker. He's a penetrator. There he is right there, attacking the defense. The one thing about Florida, great plus they have the least number of fouls in the SEC. They don't foul, like 15 times a game. If you're not putting people on the free throw line, that's a bonus.
It's pretty amazing when you consider the fact they're the top defensive team, too, and they're still not fouling, right?
That means they're moving their feet. John Adams is in the house today, the head of officials, watching to see how the Zebras. He told me he's very pleased so far with what he has seen. He thinks the game is cleaning up a little bit.
Scoring is up a little bit, too?
Yeah, that's something you're going to call those fouls. An offensive foul right there.
Right into Patrick Young. That's against Hale, his first personal foul. And Young looked like he took a shot in the nose area. Takes a lot to shake that big fella up. Look at Patrick Young, and you immediately want to get to the gym and do some bench.
I think you think of Patrick Young, I think about guys like Gates and Jimmy Graham. I think of all those guys that played basketball. Gonzalez played football. I think he could be a heck of a tight end. He's probably saying, no way, I want to play basketball, man.
Will Muschamp will be over here in a second. Out of bounds, it'll be Florida basketball. Actually, it's going to come back the other way. Alabama hanging tough.
They made the adjustment going to the zone, and the zone really has helped them. It's sort of taken away some of that early start of Florida.
They go against that full court pressure. They get it inbound to Relaford.
I mean, you know it's coming. You know it's like the Syracuse 2-3 zone. You know you're going to face that. You better be ready for it.
Back out to Relaford.
Bring the ball into Relaford. Get it in his hands.
Does Alabama stand a better chance if they play a fewer possession game and play really slow here tonight?
Well, you know, you could say that to a certain degree, but they've really been playing better when they brought the tempo up a little bit here.
Hale back out to Relaford. 6 on the shot clock. Got to get to work. Tough fadeaway, knocks it down. And Relaford continuing to sizzle. He's got 10 out of their 16.
You know, he shows a lot of versatility. He's got the mid-range jumper, the long range. Like that, a little bit out of control.
Now after the foul, it's going to be Alabama basketball and a chance to tie the ball game up.
You know, the first minute and a half was 8-zip. I thought we were headed for blowout city in about the first 5 minutes. There's Relaford with that medium-range jumper.
Really changed his body during the offseason, Dick. If you compare what he looked like last year to this year, he's a good 10 to 15 pounds lighter, and he's getting good results as a result.
Yeah, what's going to give him a little more quickness.
It's going to be Alabama basketball. 9:18 to go here in the first half. Here's Key. Key is a former JUCO All-American, 2-time JUCO All-American.
He's a penetrator. He slashes, gets to the rim. Played at Barton, Kansas Community College.
Taylor inside, ties the game at 18.
I like Taylor on the interior. Went to Greensboro High School in Alabama. Has good defensive presence. He has a 7'6" wingspan.
Wow. Wilbekin turns it over, and folks, coming up, it's Gonzaga taking on Memphis. More college basketball tonight on ESPN and ESPN2. On ESPN Saturday primetime, presented by DirecTV. As that doubleheader for you, Wichita State, the Wheat Shockers taking on Northern Iowa, which would figure to be a very tough test for them.
That's Dan Schulman, another guy from Canada like you, John Saunders, all you guys from Canada invading the network, and Jay will be on that game with him. Game day crew out there, Memphis and Gonzaga.
I'm urging John to get his citizenship along with Dan, too, and join me. Nice bucket underneath, and Alabama now with a 2-point lead after that bucket. A 13-2 run for the Tide. What a recovery.
Tremendous recovery, going to a little 2-2-1 press and going into that zone, 2-3 zone right now. As he makes you back it up, slows the game up a little bit. Hill not really a threat from the perimeter. I'd back off and let him shoot that three.
Chris Walker checking into the ball game, just his second game of the season. He was just declared eligible a little over a week ago. Whistle and a foul underneath. It's going to go against the Tide.
I will always say that I was there to see him get his first deuce. Watch Alabama. Nice drive to the lane. Nice switch. Put it on the left hand. Get the deuce.
Anthony Grant. And a little bit of a homecoming here. Trying to show out. Bama with the lead when we come back.
Nick Saban, can't say enough. He is by far uno #1 in coaching right now in football. You know, you talk about him in football, Mike Krzyzewski in basketball. I mean, Saban, the job he has done since arriving in Alabama has been unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Got a stranglehold on that SEC and had another great recruiting class. Just finished signing a bunch of guys.
Hired Lane Kiffin to join that staff as well.
You need to come and do some football games with me, guys. Here's Frazier the second inside till you get 10 on the shot clock for the Gators. And a nice block at the rim that time by Jimmy Taylor, doing it at both ends.
Taylor, good job using that wingspan of his. Arms inside, a lot of patience.
Randolph with a pull-up J, no good. Kept alive in another possession for the Tide.
Randolph was a big name coming out of high school ranks. Second effort. I like to see a bunch of kids play with a little pride, and that's what they're doing. I mean, they know their season, as far as postseason, is really out of it, but they're playing with so much pride.
Taylor battling inside, drawing the foul on Yeget. And he's getting it done at the defensive end. Hey, Dick, you talk about defense. What about Virginia? We saw the highlight there a moment ago. They play some great defense, Coach Bennett's team.
They really do. I think a big date's going to be March 1st when Syracuse goes down here. That could probably decide maybe the ACC. Tony Bennett doing a great job. The kid Brogdon's so underrated for the Virginia.
Relaford missing the three ball. Whistle and a foul underneath, going to go against the Tide. Looks like they caught Taylor on that one.
You mentioned Walker a little bit, the kid from down at D. Well, panhandle, big size. You can't teach 6'11". You can't teach his great jumping ability. He has to learn how to play. His skills are really limited right now.
Got a late start, played just 7 minutes in his first game a couple of nights ago against Missouri. Enrolled in school in mid-December after academically qualifying, and then was sat out actually by the NCAA. Received some impermissible benefits, and in the process of making restitution, and everything cleared up now. ready to go.
I hope they jump on those agents, man, the guys that prey upon these kids and put that cash in front of them, because those guys shouldn't be out there allowed to represent kids. Really blows my mind. That's a sleazy characters. There are a lot of good ones, though. A lot of quality guys who do it the right way.
Yeah. Let me correct myself. It was preferential treatment, quote unquote, according to the NCAA's ruling. Let's look at the timeline on him. He signed his letter of intent. He was in the Brant Jordan game, All-American, enrolled at Florida in December, and cleared to play just recently, January 29.
I mean, I don't want to indict every agent because there are a lot of quality ones. I know the people I'm with down at IMG, they do things the first-class way. If they weren't, they wouldn't have me, I can tell you that.
Free throw good as Obasahan knocks it down.
Obasahan was scoring big early, then as you said, got himself into a little bit of a slump, had that injury, a little hip problem as well. I'm impressed with the way the Alabama kids are playing with intensity and heart. I mean, their only chance of the tournament, they got to have a miracle. They got to win the SEC tournament, and that is going to be, as you know, really, really tough.
Well, their schedule gets a little bit more favorable coming up, and that's going to be a foul against Alabama, pushing Wilbekin out of bounds.
You know, you mentioned schedule. They played one of the toughest schedules in the league. I mean, it was a brutal non-league schedule. You played Wichita State, played Oklahoma, played Duke, Xavier, UCLA. Drexel was pretty good. I mean, unbelievable. They had just a incredible early season schedule. I was looking at Anthony Grant.
Yeah, depending on the latest results and computations, Dick, they say that Alabama has the third strongest strength of schedule in the nation.
Oh, wow. I didn't know it was that high. You know, Mike Slive in the SEC, they want to really get their coaches to upgrade their pre-conference schedules, and I don't blame them in a way because we have a lot of cupcakes. People don't want to see some of those cupcakes. I've been screaming and yelling about Indiana playing Kentucky. To me, that's as natural as can be, and there's no way that game should be off the ledger.
Wilbekin, meanwhile, knocks down the first of two. A 73% free throw shooter on the season. Came into Florida as a 17-year-old freshman. Cut his teeth and really blossoming into a good college point guard.
One of the problems for Florida that may hurt them tournament time is the free throw line. As a team, they are not a very good free throw shooting team.
Kicked out of bounds by the Gators. It'll stay Alabama basketball with 23 seconds on the shot clock. Taylor will sit down, and in comes Engstrom, the 7-foot junior from Sweden.
He played handball in Sweden. Big guy, has good interior passer.
Little half-court look, half-court trap look by the Gators. Relaford swings it around to the corner, and the jumper nothing but net by Rodney Cooper.
Cooper had a big game against Arkansas. They were right there. Arkansas was so tough to beat at home.
Boy, Alabama really recaptured its poise after looking shaky early. Prather inside, hanging in the air.
Right over Engstrom, the 7-footer. Prather shooting 60%. You can see why.
Obasahan kicks it out. Randolph out to Relaford for three. And Relaford with another three ball.
I know you look at them, it's hard to believe they're 9-13.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at them playing here in front of me right now. Relaford with a good catch, squared his body really well, got the good open look for the three. A little half-court trap out of their zone.
Prather working the baseline with a reverse and good.
He is so effective along that baseline. He's a baseline beauty. You said it earlier, no doubt, one of the most improved players in college basketball.
Averaged only 3.3 points a game last year, and right now hovering around 15 or 16 per.
And shooting over 60%.
Relaford passes out of the double team. Alabama's been moving the ball well on offense the last few sequences.
Good ball first right there, getting the ball into the ring, but then he got a little walking violation.
Obasahan turns it over. 5 minutes to go in the first half. And that's the 6th turnover for Alabama.
I got to believe if you asked Anthony Grant after the first minute and a half when they were down 8-zip, and that defense was so tenacious that he'd be up 5 with 4:57, he'd say, are you wacky?
Yeah. They're ready to start the bus up, some thought.
Yeah, you had him starting the bus already in the first minute and a half.
There's Wilbekin on the wing. Frazier, that's what he does. Knocks down the three.
He can change the complexion of the game, and he did that against Missouri. His 3 consecutive after halftime. Brad Nessler was on the call. It was like a knockout. It was like a knockout against Missouri when he got alive.
He had a great summer playing for Coach Donovan overseas on the USA Basketball Under-19 team.
Well, he's going to coach that team again.
Relaford from long distance, and there's an answer for you.
He says, hey, Mr. Frazier, anything you can do, I can do better.
Wilbekin kicks it out.
See how Wilbekin penetrates and then brings the ball back out to shooters?
Smallest guy on the floor gets the rebound, Relaford. Relaford really sizzling with 16.
So far, they've been taking really good shots.
Little heat check, why not? He had been rolling. Do you mind that shot, Dick?
Well, he was really pressured on that shot. It was not an open shot, but he's certainly a guy you wouldn't mind shooting the ball if you're Alabama.
Finney Smith had it knocked away. Bad pass and a foul committed. It looks like they're going to catch Engstrom coming over the top.
That's Engstrom challenged the shooter. Frazier knocks it down, and Relaford says, hey, I can do that too. Squares up, and there it is, nothing but nylon.
51 shots, Dick. It worked out to 72%. There's no magic why he's a good three-point shooter.
No magic at all. And we're going to see him right here, show how it pays off. Squares his body, the big guy Engstrom out there, but doesn't matter, right over. Nothing but nylon. Let me face reality right here. You did a great thing, mentioned about, you got to work hard. Bottom line is, the harder I work, the luckier I get. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. An All-American is an ordinary person with extraordinary desire to excel. Where do I send a bill for a motivational speech?
Patrick Young knocks down the free throw.
He really shot well on the free throw line the last game against Missouri, and that's been a struggle for him most of the year. Nice little touch right there.
How do you think the presence now of Chris Walker affects Patrick Young's minutes or how he's used in the rotation, if at all, Dick?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
If anything's going to help him because he'll be able to go to the bench, be fresh. Walker's going to play no more than about 10 minutes a game right now. He's going to, and he even played them together in the last game against Missouri. People have to limit their expectations of Walker. He's a gifted athlete with a lot of upside. He needs to learn how to play in the system.
There's 11,000 here expecting big things from him and beyond. Obasahan from downtown rebounded by Young, and back comes Casey Hill.
Hill likes to go to the goal. There he is right there, likes to go to the goal.
Got it to go.
Hey, scouting report was pretty good on him as an example of his ability.
Now, Relaford is getting a little breather on Anthony Grant's bench. Where are the points going to come from? Because Florida making a move now.
Well, Obasahan's going to have to step up and give him some points. He has the ability to do that. He's going to try and take some time off the clock, too. That's what I would do. Takes a little time, shorten it a little bit with Relaford out of the game.
Here's Key inside. Taylor with that jump hook. Boy, that's an impressive shot, Dick.
The wingspan he has, 7'6" wingspan. He's got that nice little deep turnaround jump hook in the lane. Comes over the right shoulder.
#1 ranked prospect in the state of Alabama high school last year.
He's got a lot of potential. Good diaper dandy. They saw a diaper dandy against Rutgers. Nice job.
Great time inside till you get.
Go to diagonal pass. That pass is always effective against his zone. The kid Portis had 35 on him for Arkansas. A very skilled 6'10" player for Mike Anderson.
What a talented freshman. 1-point ball game now. Key on the drive. Jumper good, knocked down by Levi Randolph. The three ball gives him 5 for the game.
And it was created by Key and his penetration.
How important for Alabama, Dick, to close this half with the lead as well as they've played, you think?
That's a great point.
You get inside for the bucket.
Too easy right there, layups. Psychologically, it would be a big plus for them to go in the locker room, showing that we can play with the Gators. We're up on the Gators. Because let's face it, it's been a tough season mentally for the kids in Tuscaloosa.
Anthony Grant calling out the half-court set from the sideline. Obasahan running the point.
Last time they won in this gym, you're talking all the way in 95, they won on a jump shot late in the game by Eric Washington at the buzzer, basically.
Last quarter, and that's going to be a travel, so now Florida with a chance to tie the game. 95. Did you have hair back then still?
I'm going to tell you, man, listen to this. 95, you know who was on that team? Roy Rogers. Jason Caffey, McDice, all-NBA first-round picks. Beat Lon Kruger. That was David Hobbs' club, 95. Washington, by the way, is from my area of the country where I live in Lakeland Ranch, Florida area, down in Bradenton, Sarasota.
Florida able to solve the zone the last couple of trips down the floor.
Yeah, going to the post and going opposite. Go to the opposite side from the post there, you get a wide open shot. There it is.
Young finding the open man. You get inside. Boy, he's filling his hat.
All is created, Mark, off the diagonal pass or, again, the skip pass. Where you skip past the ball to the guy next to you.
Does Alabama hold it for one here, Dick, and go into the locker room potentially with the lead, or do you keep playing?
No, I back it out. I take the last shot. You're the underdog, man. You got to go in, feel good about yourself. You don't want to turn it over and give them a chance maybe for a three.
Relaford back in the ball game handling. 8 on the clock. They double team him, take it out of his hands. Randolph raising up. A little bit strong, and that's going to be the end of the first half of play. Knotted at 36. Relaford doing a lot of the heavy lifting offensively for Alabama. He has 16. 2 off of his season average already. It's going to take a superhuman effort, you would think, for him to continue that trend in the second half. But a good first 20 minutes of play. Right now, we're going to go to the studio with Adnan Verkin set.
5% for the first half, and you're playing Alabama. Do you think you'd be tied? Think about it. When you look at the numbers here, you get out a big half.
An interesting point that you make, and we said at the top of the show, if Relaford's got his ball going and the ball in his hands, then they've got a good shot, and that's what came to pass in the first half. Remember, this is the second meeting of the season. The first one was also a close game, just a 6-point Florida win in Tuscaloosa.
Question is, can they sustain that for a second half? That is really the big question right now. Florida came out late on the first half. I got a feeling they were really admonished big time by Mr. Donovan. Because I don't think you can be happy with that defense. They give up 36 points, and they only give up 57. Oh, little layup in transition.
Get hurt on the break as Key gets an easy one. That's his first field goal.
I mean, think about
back with the lead.
Think about that. 36 points they allowed in the half. They give up 57.4, 38% field goal percentage. Alabama shoots 60% in the first half.
Wow, as Wilbekin counters and Florida regains the lead on the 3-ball. Wilbekin with 8 points in the ball game. Billy Donovan told me before the game that he was concerned about the 50-50 balls because Alabama seemed to be a step faster in that first meeting. Finding a little sluggishness in the middle part of that first half, which allowed the Tide to take the lead.
You know, it's amazing. Coaches will always find something they're not happy with. I mean, the guy hasn't lost since early December. He hasn't lost again. Last time they lost was to Connecticut on a Napier traumatic play at the end of the game.
6 on the shot clock. Relaford staying hot here in the second half. A good start for the second half for him.
He's quieting down. A lot of the rowdy reptiles have been on his case big time.
Reptile's busy trying to get Justin Timberlake to show up to a game here. Big social media movement as part of the crowd here. Decided home court advantage. 4-on-1 here. Key lobs it up for Hale. Not a good decision.
Oh, not a good play at all. Simple little bounce pass. You got 4-on-1. You got to convert here. You got to convert. 4-on-1. He's got trailers. He's got guys on the wing. And they try to make the spectacular play, and they come up empty.
Well, that's a grave mistake for a team that struggles to score as much as they do.
Absolutely.
Rather double teamed.
Is that zone? They're staying in it. Some big gaps right in the middle of the zone. If you go into the 3-second area, right behind the foul line. Inside,
Patrick Young took the hit and won.
He's strong. He's strong. He gets the ball in that deep. He's going to convert. Got great physicality. There he's going to slide over to the post area. Gets great deep post position. He's in really deep. Locks in there and gets a layup.
Now, Billy Donovan kind of compares Patrick Young. You mentioned some names earlier, Dick, and Donovan compares him kind of to Udonis Haslam, Joakim Noah, guys who've got great motor, hustle, maybe not a marquee star, all-star type, but certainly a guy that can play at the next level, right?
But absolutely. The bottom line is this club is really devoid of really outstanding talent in terms of superstars. And what they have is a lot of good players, quality players. I got 3 or 4 guys that probably be looked at strongly in the second round or as free agents, but they don't have that standout superstar. Sometimes you're better because they stay in school for 4 years.
Hey, they got 4 seniors that start on this team. That's why they're ranked number 3 or 2, depending on the poll.
And they're not just ordinary seniors. They got a winner's mentality.
Rutherford missed the tough shot, and back comes Wilbekin. Florida leading by a point. On the break, Prather, and that's how you finish.
That's not transition basketball. That was really basic elementary. Center the ball, run the 45-degree angle, cut, drop the bounce pass. Very effective and very efficient.
Lead up to 3 for the Gators.
Big screen for Rutherford up on top.
13 on the shot clock. They still got time. Out of bounds, off of Alabama. Another empty possession.
And those kind of empty possessions really hurt. I mean, don't even get a look at the basket. And there's 3 points to a transition game. You watch it on the interior. Got to get that ball out. Wilbekin right here.
Florida now leading by 3.
That was a perfect transition. Basketball starts, you get possession of the ball, you get penetration, and you'll get points in transition. 3 phases. The initial phase is got to get possession. You got that rebound, you got the outlet pass. Young's going to flash to the ball. Sends it up. Young wants the ball down and low.
Hill up top, got ripped by Rutherford, and back on the Tide as they get the stop that they need.
And Rutherford's got to assert himself. He's going to want to score. I think at times he's a little bit too unselfish.
Good point. Alabama hasn't scored in its last 3 trips and make it 4 now. Got a couple of turnovers and now 0 for 2. Frazier from the corner, got it.
There's all that work shooting threes. 251 before the game. He shot, made 70% of them.
You know, last time I was here, Dick, he actually made over 300 before he called it a day.
Wow. He made 3 big ones, I tell you, after the half against Missouri. That was a big one right there. He and Wilbekin just come up big. Alabama needs a score. Momentum has definitely swung. Yeah. Uncle Mo is on the side. The Gators.
Frazier out of Montverde Academy, showcasing some of the great basketball talent out of the high school ranks in the state of Florida. It ain't just football, folks. Remember that.
Coming up empty the last 4 possessions. You look at Florida, he's looking young on the sideline. Wilbekin and Frazier hitting those big threes were certainly big. I see a little Uncle Mo now on the side of the Gators. 28 in a row here at home, second longest win streak. Tied up top with Stephen F. Austin, and got also Duke at 29.
Foul's going to go against Frazier, his first personal foul. Second team foul of the half. We'll see what Alabama runs coming out of this timeout.
You know what a threat when you got a guy that can make threes. Changes momentum, changes the game, the complexion. Frazier gives him that threat from the perimeter because they're basically not a good long-range shooting team.
When you look at this Florida team, do you see them being built for the NCAA tournament and making a deep run?
Oh, I do.
You see the elements there for success?
Absolutely. I think the winning experience, the ability, they play so well defensively.
A whistle and a foul inside. That's going to go against Finney Smith.
You know, you got 4 players that went to the Elite 8 3 consecutive years.
Think about Billy Donovan, the great job he's done here during his tenure at Florida at a quote-unquote football school where some people doubted that he could be successful. Well, a couple of national championships later, you don't hear the critics anymore. That's the 3rd foul, meanwhile, on Finney Smith.
Well, Billy's headed to the Hall of Fame. Now he's any doubt whatsoever.
That jumper a little bit strong, and Casey Hill corrals the rebound, and the Turbo Jets have kicked in up court to Wilbekin for 3.
There it is, Uncle Mo. Uncle Mo He's tough, but if the ball gets on your side, it creates problems.
Lead is swollen up to 9.
3 big threes here in this half.
Hale on the drive. Contact, and that's going to be a blocking foul.
That has shown a lot of character. Alabama, when they were down early, 8-zip. Let's see if they can show some now. There's Casey. Hill's going to penetrate, kick the ball out. That's part of their transition game. Run to the three-point line.
That foul against Florida, and that one against Patrick Young, his first, sending Hale to the free throw line. Haley, 6'8" freshman out of Johnson City, Tennessee. Just a 55% free throw shooter, knocks down the first.
He went to the same high school, Christ School, as the Plumlee brothers.
Committed as a sophomore. Anthony Grant.
You should be able to spread the defenses. Came in, good reputation as a shooter from the perimeter. Carter did a great job here in the second half, executing offensively. Getting good spacing.
His feet inside. Young double teamed and kicks it out to the shooter. Well, you expect every one of those to go in. You're surprised when he misses.
Good inside-outside action, though. Part of their offense.
Relaford on the drive and kick. Lost the handle. Wilbekin gave it back. A whistle. And Mike Nance, our official, going to go to the table and sort something out.
Shot clock set to 33
Looks like we're going to have an
seconds.
adjustment on the shot clock. They're going to reset it to 33.
Made a little adjustment also. Halftime came over and told us about the swing of the elbows. Anytime you swing the elbows and make a contact above the neck, it's automatic.
Automatic, yep. So it's going to be Alabama basketball, side out of bounds.
Alabama a little rut right now. You got to credit the Florida defense. That's why they're one of the real premier defensive teams in America. Adjustments at halftime really get up on Relaford. Had a big first half at 16. Little Wilbekin getting over the top of that screen.
Jacobs on the roll to the bucket and got it to go. That breaks the drought.
Nice little screen and roll there. Relaford did a great job with his teammate. A little two-man game.
4 points for Jacobs. You get inside, and that's going to be a foul against Jacobs. Well, ESPN's journey to the tourney continues today with a clash in the Big Ten Conference. Nick Stauskas and the Wolverines taking on the Hawkeyes. ESPN's journey to the tourney presented by Sonic. Michigan, Iowa, today at 2 on ESPN, also on the Watch ESPN app.
Hey, Iowa's lost some real tough games, even at home. Bottom line is they got a really quality team. That's going to be a tough battle for the Wolverines, who beat them over in Ann Arbor earlier this year.
Casey Hill out top. You get now.
Prather, you talk about really improved players. What about Stauskas down there? Back from out of Canada. Great job with the Wolverines. There's a little screen. Not a little screen. That's a big screen when it comes from Young.
Hill penetrating. Nice dime to Yeget, who got stripped. And Alabama comes up with the ball out of the loose pack. So, well, the Tide's still scrambling and playing hard. A desperate team right now.
Did a good job defensively because they read this play. Good defensive play right there because Hill made a great pass. Dropped that dime right to him.
The foul is going to go against Yeget, his second personal foul. Talk about Will Yeget's important to this Florida team. He's a real glue guy.
He's tough on the defensive side. He really is part of that pressure.
Alabama breaking the pressure here. Cooper cross court. And that's going to be a traveling violation on Randolph. A little ankles. That's the 10th turnover of the game for Alabama. Down by 6 as we approach 13 minutes to go in the game. Wilbekin will sit down. Frazier comes in, and Key comes in for Alabama. There's a look at Yeget, who's going to get a breather. Finney-Smith coming in for him. Will Yeget from the Bordeaux region of France. That's where they make all those fine wines that you drink, Dick Vitale.
I drink cranberry juice. They call me Mr. Cranberry Juice. There it is right here. Pressureman himself. Alabama going to try to pressure their guards. With Wilbekin out of the game. Hill's a good man. He really can handle. He can work on his jump shot.
Speaking of jump shots, their jump shooter missing that time from downtown. Alabama with a chance to cut into the lead. Randolph blocked by Patrick Young, but they get it back.
Excellent timing on that shot block by Young. That's why they're going to have a great chance to win. They're going to defend. And defense is so prevalent and so dominant when you think about tournament time.
And the O-Dome is turned up right now.
Those Rowdy Reptiles, they get after it, man. They love their Gators. 28 in a row, and they've been part of those 28 wins.
3 on the shot clock for the Tide. They're not going to get it off.
Shot clock violation. Again, Florida's defense. There's that great defense.
That might be worthy of a hashtag SC Top 10.
Well, I'll tell you what, you look at the teams that win, when you look at the top clubs up there, Clemson, there's the block shot. Clemson allows 55 points a game. They're 15-6. Virginia, they allow 56 points. They are 18-5. San Diego State allows 56.5. And a dramatic comeback win. Oh, they're on fire now.
Whoa, Walker with the tip off the alley-oop. It's really going their way right now, Dick.
There's Walker showing that athleticism. But you look at San Diego State, 20-1. Then right after that, you got Cincinnati allowing 56.7. They're 21-2.
So you're trying to tell me good defense beats better offense? Is that it?
Next two are Arizona, 56.8. They're 21-1. And then you got Florida. They're right there, 20-2 record, giving up 57. You play defense like that, you got a chance to win.
Here's Hill.
Those numbers don't lie.
Cross-court Finney Smith to Prather.
They're going to try to get a lob up to Walker.
Nice spin move. Prather couldn't finish, though. And back comes Key. They've got numbers of 4-on-2. Cross-court, and that's going to be a charging foul against Alabama. Got to come down under control, right?
Totally out of control. Totally out of control.
Second, huh?
Well, you never know. Very dangerous place on the road. But I'm going to tell you, they get by that. I think they're going to run the table and be undefeated when the tournament starts.
Love that backcourt of Van Vliet and Baker.
Also, Mr. Early can play. Yep. He's outstanding.
Look at the remaining unbeaten Syracuse. They play against Clemson. Coach Brad Brownell, you talked about their ability to guard people. That should be an interesting contest.
Yeah, tough to beat them up to carry it down. I'll tell you one thing. I think a big game is going to be Syracuse and Virginia.
We're going to get some full-court pressure. Wilbekin in the ball game. Finney Smith with a great pass. Walker with the slam.
That's what he will do. Finish around the rim. Can you jump like that?
Oh, never could, never will. 10-point lead, the biggest of the ball game in the second half, actually, for Florida.
You can see that bounce to the step now on the Florida Gator team. They got really within them right now, that killer's mentality, that winner's mentality. You can just see it, playing so hard defensively.
Obasa back out top to Cooper for the long jumper, no good.
He's been quiet today. He was really excellent against Arkansas.
Prather on the drive, slashing to the basket.
They're on fire now, man. They're on fire. They got on the ball. Yes, sir. The Rowdy Reptiles are running, baby. They are running and they are scoring. And they're trying to get number 29 at home. Yeah, really, transition for the three, transition for the layup. They've been run, baby, run. Here they are exploding to the goal. Nice bounce pass. Prather with the... I was Walker with the layup. There's Prather right now with the conversion. Terrific job by the Gators. Strong second half. They get those little spurts, man. Spurtability is what Kellogg would say. They get those spurts, and they're away and gone.
Billy Donovan going deep into his bench once again today. And tinkering with the lineup, and Chris Walker, a new variable in the equation going down the stretch. There's Hale inside and one, and that stops the bleeding temporarily for Alabama. Hale going to the free throw line, trying to complete the three-point play.
Nice play by Hale, taking it right at the shot blocker and converting on the inside. Taking it right out. Right out. Leads right in. That's the conversion. How big was that? Remember, they were down 10 early in this game and then scrapped back.
Trying to get more minutes about 10 games ago, really earning the trust of head coach Grant.
I think Billy Donovan trying to get some minutes out here from Walker, too. See, I think he's the facilitator. This guy's the catalyst, offensively and defensively. Wilmington.
Eddie Smith with a ball fake. Inside to Walker. Nice spin move. Jump hook a little bit off the mark. Prather is there to have his back. And one.
Casey Prather always around the basket, scores around the lane, on the inside. That's why he shoots 60%. Takes advantage of his ability around the basket. Little Tracy, he's a little limited offensively. He's got a long way to go, skill-wise, on the offensive end, Walker. But he's got all the things you'd love to be able to teach. And as long as he stays with that coaching staff,
they develop guys. I mean, look at Casey Prather, the guy at the free throw line last year, averaged just 3.5 points a game, and now being compared. Coach Donovan feels favorably to a guy like Corey Brewer that played here not that long ago, who's now a member of the Minnesota Timberwolves, formerly of the Nuggets. As Walker goes back to the bench, if you're Billy Donovan, how do you bring Walker along? How do you dole out his minutes going down the road?
Well, that's what he's doing here. I think he's doing a great job finding certain spots to play him in, give him some confidence. Tell him basically do what you do best. Run and jump. Use your athleticism. Don't worry about anything else.
12-point lead for Florida.
They have really contained Rutherford in the second half.
Did a great job on him, whistling a foul on that attempt.
At 16 in the first half, it's been silent night here in the second half. Doesn't look at Walker on that sideline.
Yeah, he's had just 3 points in the second half as Hale goes back to the line.
See, anytime you get a kid like Walker this time of the year, it just adds to the equation in terms of giving you a little depth, getting a few minutes to rest a guy like Young. Same thing on the other side. When you lose a key player like Arizona lost to get Ashley, tough to make that up, especially when your goals are a little different than most. Arizona's goal is to win a national title. Same with Florida. So anytime you lose a player or gain a player, it affects the whole situation.
Long pass over the head of Prather out of bounds, and Florida turns it over. And going down the stretch, getting back to Walker. Still a tough road to go for Florida in the SEC with 4 of the next 5 games coming up on the road. And Dick, they'll need Chris Walker to go up against some of the dynamic talent that Kentucky has. And they've had a tough time playing Tennessee the last 3 times. They've lost 3 out of the last 4 times they've played the Volunteers, and they've got the balls on the schedule still in Knoxville. On the drive, Key, and that's going to be an offensive foul. There's a look at the Gators' upcoming schedule.
Take a look at that. At Tennessee Tuesday, never easy down there. And then at Kentucky, and that's Sunday night Cupcake City going there at Rupp Arena. John Calipari's kids, it's all based, I think, on the player to perimeter players. I said it the other day. When they play well on the perimeter, they are almost impossible to beat. I mean, against Missouri on the road, the Harrisons have 35 points and 1 turnover. Well, you're not going to beat them. And Missouri is so tough at home.
10-point lead. Wilbekin holding the ball to Hill.
You watch Fred Hall well, coach. Always 15, 17 feet apart. I mean, he's got a 3. He makes that from out there with Frazier. That really just elevates their entire offense.
Wilbekin, the All-SEC preseason selection. 14 points in the ball game, the biggest lead of the contest for the Gators, and a steal. Frazier with the layup.
Frazier with the steal, the layup, the conversion.
And another steal.
Oh, wow, wow. Get out your fill of material, Mark. Get out your fill of material. This is all Gators, man. Uncle Moman has only arrived. He is in high gear.
Wilbekin. Hill on the kick-out. Frazier for 3.
Uh-oh. Young, what a rebound.
That's a man-sized rebound and a foul.
That was a big-time rebound. He went laterally. NBA scouts gonna like watching that. That was a big-time rebound, not only in his area. Showed he could go out of his area to grab a rebound.
Foul's going to go against Randolph.
Great hands.
Young going to the free throw line. Guy whose stamina this year is a lot better than it was a season ago. He dropped a couple of pounds, although looking at his shoulders, you really can't tell. 3 for 4 from the line right now.
It's amazing the number of ex-basketball players, big, strong, physical guys who make the conversion to play football. Now I know Tony Gonzalez played both on a collegiate level. Played with Jason Kidd down in California. Played football, obviously.
Antonio Gates
Gates, you think about Jimmy Graham.
Sam Clancy back in the day for Pittsburgh played with the Cleveland Browns, too.
See, I knew you knew all that stuff.
I'm older, Dick, than you think, okay? I'm older than you think, Dick Vitale. I don't have grandkids like you do yet. Had a great time with yours a couple of days ago, huh?
Yeah,
just recently.
Just there at Disney World. Inside.
There's been no Magic Kingdom, though, for Alabama here in Gainesville today. Down by 15. 3-on-2. Relaford on the move. Got it to almost fall. And he'll go to the free throw line, prepare. Alabama leaking a little bit of oil right now. They got to patch that engine when we come back on the other side.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by 5 Hour Energy. Focus is the feeling of clarity and alertness. It's the feeling you get from 5 Hour Energy. And in part by...
It will bring you to tears. I talked to the father the other day, and he sent me a text message after I spoke to him that broke my heart. Little Lacey was at our event, and we were so optimistic. Dan Schumann interviewed Adrian. They got like a love affair, man. The beautiful, beautiful story. But we found out now that Lacey's got a serious battle as the cancers come back, and she has now cancer in the pelvic area, and also it's spread to the brain. All I can say to the whole sport is our prayers are with you, and our hearts go out to you. But people, if you want to come to our event, just call 941-374-6026 and see Mr. Saban. We have honored all you Alabama people.
All proceeds going to fight that insidious disease we know as cancer. It can be beaten.
The Foundation.
Here's Cooper on the drive. 13-point lead, make it 11. Alabama trying to hang around.
That's what he did really well against Arkansas. Had 22 points, 10 rebounds, did a great job. If it wasn't for the kid Portis, who had 35, they would have left Arkansas with a W, but Portis was sensational, the 6'10 kid for Mike Anderson.
Arkansas having a tough time winning games on the road this year, as was the case a season ago.
You know, you think about the Gators, 2 losses. Lost a tough game to Connecticut, and lost a tough game to Wisconsin.
Both of them right around the buzzer, right? I mean, the Napier shot. I don't remember the Wisconsin one off the top of my head, but yeah, both competitive games.
They lost by 6 to Wisconsin, and it was a tough game.
There's Wilbekin in the corner.
They love passing the ball. They love passing the ball.
Bill, that might be the one soft spot in this game, but Finney Smith with the tip. That's his first bucket.
Well, what I love about Finney Smith is the ability to go inside, outside. He can make threes. Very versatile player.
A lot of interchangeable parts. Obasahan on the drive and a foul on Finney Smith.
Strong drive to the goal. Florida doesn't foul a great deal. Only fouled by 15 times a game.
Good ball movement here by the Gators on offense, Dick.
Yeah, they reverse the ball. You swing it side to side, you get an open look. See, he's trying to, he didn't shoot that in rhythm. He shot that thinking about it. He's working really diligently on his range as a shooter. You know, on a high school level, he just blew by people. He blew by people.
Obasahan at the foul line, missing that one. And he's a pretty good foul shooter, 72% on the season today, well under his season average. As his offensive slump continues, and that's not something that they can afford to have moving forward, even though Alabama, with their schedule coming up, they have some very winnable games, and it's about the time of the year where they need to start kicking up a little bit of dust in the SEC.
One thing Alabama's had some talented players over the years. Robert Horry, Latrell Sprewell, you think about James Robinson. I mean, the list goes on, McDyess, etc. One of my favorites, I coached a little time before I got the Ziggy in the pros, Leon Douglas. One of the last guys. Leon played a big part in one of the big wins they ever had. But on March 13, 1976, they stung North Carolina, and they won, and they got beat in the next round to the eventual champs, Indiana, by only 5.
They've had some players coming out of Alabama, and ball out of bounds, it'll be Gators basketball.
That was the time U team for Indiana, the last team we ever had to go unblemished, and they had a fair coach. I think his name was Robert. Can't think of his last name.
Knight, I think.
Was it Knight?
Yeah, gray-haired dude. Yeah.
Robert Knight. Yeah, pretty good coach.
Some X's and O's. Here's Wilbekin from downtown off the mark. And back come the Tide, down by 12 as we approach 6 minutes to go.
Big story for Alabama all year, scoring points. Nice drive right there.
A bucket from Key with under 6 minutes to go. He has 4 in the game.
Well, the junior college guy, who's an All-American in the junior college game, has that good ability to get to the rim.
Whistling a foul against Alabama. You were talking about some of the former greats that have played for the Crimson Tide. I had a chance to speak with Mo Williams, former guard.
Pretty good player.
Yeah, now with the Portland Trail Blazers. Saw him on Wednesday as his Blazers were taking on the Knicks, and he sends his full support of head coach Anthony Grant and his staff and the Tide players.
Well, Anthony's got some good recruits coming in next year. They're going to have to get some good players. He told me he's really excited about some of the kids they signed. Justin Coleman being one from out of Birmingham. They got a kid out of Devin Mitchell from out of Georgia, and another youngster from out of Alabama named Riley Norris. Got some good young people coming back.
In this sport, you get the right player or two, and things can turn real quickly.
Oh, you talked about it earlier. People don't have patience anymore. We have all the social media, the talk shows. Everybody wants instant gratification. They want it to happen now. And if it doesn't, what is the cry? Fire the coach.
All right.
Fire the coach.
Now, Basahan will go to the free throw line, and Anthony Grant, a very good coach.
He's a good person, too. Really about family values. Just a classy guy that you want your young people around.
Basahan makes the first of 2 this time.
Kid Lacey really hurt him. He was a double-figure scorer. He went to North Carolina State, Villanova. I mean, they have really been sensational all year. I mean, those teams have really exceeded, I think, expectations that anybody had during the month of February.
Well, let's not forget about the guys on the West Coast. Steve Fisher doing a nice job with the Aztecs, who you had up there amongst the crew, too.
That's one of my bucket lists, man. I got down. I want to get to San Diego State to see the Steve Fisher team play eventually. I mean, I got a few more years, though. See, I got 15 more years at least.
Easily.
Before I hit the 50-year mark at ESPN.
I got to get your secret formula. Here's Frazier. No secret there. It's just hard work.
Frazier with the knockout. Frazier with the knockout.
He's got 13 now on 3 of 7 from downtown. They're keeping Alabama at arm's length.
And it's 3 ball here in the second half. Between Wilbekin, Frazier has been a plus. They're zoning right now. Carter's out of the man-to-man, showed some multi-defenses.
Inside to Cooper, nice dump down low to Jacobs, who missed the easy one.
Nice little high-low action.
Florida foul is on number 15.
As a look at Michael Frazier, who's made himself such a valuable player here with the Gators, all because of the ability to make the three.
What's the next step in his development, Dick, when you talk about him being just a shooter now?
Well, he's going to work a little more ball handling, create his shot off the bounce. And that will happen. He's got great work ethic. Anytime you have a work ethic of a kid like that, you're going to be a success. There's no secret for success. You got to bust your gut, man. I don't care who you are.
Comes up with a rebound. Stop to Wilbekin.
You follow all the great ones over the years, whether it be baseball, basketball. Look at LeBron James. Look at a Derek Jeter. Those guys, from the time they were a kid, with a boy, a ball, a dream, it was all about work ethic and really a lot of passion.
Florida playing with a lot of passion today.
Better than that. Little triangle set up, high post, 2 guys on a low box, enter from the post, reverse it and get a layup.
They back up to 12 for the Gators, looking for their 29th, that's right, 29th consecutive home court win.
15th in a row for the season.
Great balance today for the Gators, Dick. All 5 starters in double figures. Basahan coming up short, and Key with the putback.
And that's one of the difficulties in preparing to play Florida. Can't zero in on 1 or 2 guys. Where you say, well, we take that guy out of it, we're in great, great shape. Bottom line is, they got so much balance. It's been a lot of fun being here with you, buddy.
It's been a long time. He is a savvy ball handler.
He really is. He handles the ball exceptionally well. He went to the same high school as the young guy down in Kansas that's got everybody talking Joel Embiid. I was teasing Billy. How do you let that kid get out of the game?
Good hustle by Relaford, still playing hard. And Florida did not retain possession. Wilbekin getting on the deck.
See, his effort really rubs off on everybody else. It becomes contagious. He has great...
With you in the studio update. Terrific game. Virginia Tech and Pittsburgh. James Robinson. Here's to you, Mr. Robinson.
Joey Van Ziegler makes 2 free throws to put Virginia Tech up 4, but James Robinson, they foul the jump shooter. He goes to the line with a chance to tie it up.
It's now tied with under 30 seconds to go. 48 all. Other action right now. Virginia leading Georgia Tech by 17, and North Carolina Notre Dame. The Tar Heels have the lead. Coming up next, under 13 minutes from now, the Michigan Wolverines will be facing Iowa. Should be a lot of fun. Keep it locked to ESPN. Mark?
All right, thanks a lot, guys. And back here, great balance by Florida. We talked about it a moment ago. All 5 starters in double figures.
Florida shooting 61% today. Unbelievable. Alabama's had teams shoot 42% for the year, but at this Gator team, it's all because of execution. All good shots, basically. They share the ball so well. That's what you said earlier. They have great balance. 5 guys in double figures.
A whistle and a foul called against the Gators as Obasahan took it to the bucket. And he'll get a pair of free throws.
He's a driver. He's a slasher. He's got a little scorer's mentality. He's got to be able to help Relaford a little more. Second half, Florida has done a great job on Relaford containing him.
A couple of premier programs squaring off Sunday afternoon on ESPN. Tony Schimmel and the Cardinals face a tough road test against the top team in the nation when they take on Brianna Stewart and the Huskies. Louisville, UConn, Sunday at 1 on ESPN, also live on Watch ESPN.
What about the job Gino has done down there with Connecticut, the women's program?
The beat goes on.
It just goes on and on and on. The guys putting numbers up that are just scary.
Their margin of victory has been frightening so far this year. 3:19 to go and timeout called by Alabama.
Florida, one of 10 teams unbeaten in league play. There's only 10 down us. They give them a little pat on the back. And Georgia State, right there from the Sun Belt. When you're undefeated, Mark, in league play at this time of the year, that is impressive.
You're getting everybody's best shot. Everybody's best shot. And Amaker at Harvard doing it, trying to patch things up. He's had some injuries and some other things to deal with. Doing a nice job there.
He's a perfect fit for that school. Really a perfect fit.
8-point lead. See if Gators can close this out. If they got that killer instinct as Frazier. And for the knockout blow, and ends up on his backside.
Tell you one thing, Alabama has not been Cupcake City here today. They're hanging right here, down 8. Florida not a great free throw shooting team.
That's going to be the 5th foul on Key, and he's done for the night. But you bring up a good point. It would have been easy a couple of times today for them to let go of the rope, Alabama.
Right.
But they haven't done that.
They're battling.
Alabama coming into this game at 9-13 overall, just 3-6 in conference play, but still a lot of fight left in them.
Really nice today. You see the way Anthony was greeted by a lot of the Florida fans, the people from the office, hugs from the little kids. He's so well-liked and so well-respected here. He's on that staff with Billy Donovan. Billy just raves about him.
That only happens when you do things the right way.
He is a guy with integrity. There's no question about it.
Frazier missing the first of a couple of free throws. An 86% foul shooter on the season.
Yeah, he's the one guy that can make free throws. Because Florida is not a great free throw shooting team. One of the bottom teams in the SEC. Relaford's got to look for some shots. He has not looked for a shot in the last.
Sometimes selfishness can be good, right? I mean, if you're not, then you're hurting your team a little bit. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, absolutely, right there. They should have stopped and shot that jumper left the screen.
There he is. They closed out on him quickly, and he blew a tire.
Yeah.
Came right out of his shoe. He was so fast, dude.
I love your analogies, man. He blew a tire. I need you to come to my gala, man.
I'll be there.
May 16th. I want you there. We'll see Mr. Saban.
They don't put me to work. I'm there. And
your guy, John Schulman, right here. John Saunders is going to be the host right there at our event.
Well, if John's coming, I'm coming.
Dan Schulman hosted it last year.
Relaford going to get a trip to the free throw line. Had a tough second half after scoring 16 in the first half.
Got to convert right here. Can I say John Jr. earlier? I'm probably going to shoot both games. I'm messing up.
It's all Canadian, baby.
We worked so hard yesterday, man. 5 in the morning wake-up call for the shoot, and we were there quite a while, man. Like 11 hours, and you become brain dead.
They think showbiz is easy, right? Doing commercials with your grandkids. Don't forget, coming up next, it's Michigan number 10 against number 17 Iowa from Carver Hawkeye Arena. Talk about one of the great venues for college basketball.
Down to 7 right now. They got to come up with a stop.
Alabama's still very much in this.
Absolutely. Playing really hard right now. They're going to play smart.
Logan on the drive. Got it!
He loves to get to the rim. And he gets to the rim so effectively. He sees an opening. He attacks. He attacks. There's the opening. And now he attacks the basket.
Yeah, he got Obasahan to foul him. Got him with his leg.
I mean, it's right there. See the opening? As soon as Wilbekin sees that opening, he's taking it on the bounce right to the goal.
You know what, he was battling, Dick, an ankle sprain about 4 or 5 games ago, and any other guy would have sat it out. I think it was a Tennessee game. And he buckled it up and strapped it up and got out there. Tough kid.
Mike's come around. He's had a few suspensions in his career, but he's really shaped up, Billy said. The rules, regulations.
Obasahan gets into the paint. Nice floater.
He's really a good attacker off the bounce. Gets right in that lane. He can score. They keep battling. They keep it at 7, but they got to find some stops here.
Got to get one on this possession. Finney-Smith back out to Wilbekin.
You might have to think about fouling, but certainly it's tough to foul Wilbekin or Frazier.
Wilbekin back out to Frazier. Plenty of time on the shot clock at 14. Prather's had a quiet afternoon offensively. Back out to Wilbekin now. 7 on the shot clock.
Always looking to attack. Always looking to find an opening attack.
Well defended.
Get it out.
And they give it right back.
Bad entry right there. Had a transition layup the other way.
That one hurts.
Hurts big time. Allows him to take some more time off that clock.
1.5 to go. Prather on the drive and kick. That's the guy you want shooting.
Oh, second shot.
And they get another possession off the miss.
They're blocked out. Alabama hurting himself here late in the game.
And now you got to think about maybe fouling a little bit. And a timeout called by the Gators and Billy Donovan.
Alabama had 2 opportunities. Had a layup the other end of the floor. And then give them a second chance. And they get a second opportunity off you. Think about a winning percentage. There's some games you're looking at the clock.
Memphis kind of like this Florida team in the sense that they got those senior guards, some talented senior backcourt players.
Well, I did the Memphis game with Dan. We did the game against the Gators. It was a heck of a game. Florida won it in the last minute.
Here we go with 1:09 to go. 7-point Gator lead.
Using Finney as a release man against the pressure.
Finney-Smith down the lane and draws the foul on the play.
He was trying to give that off to Young for a layup.
Both teams in the bonus.
Michigan, Iowa will be a heck of a game. Coming up next, watch Staskis, one of the most improved players in America from Michigan.
Finney-Smith, a 61% foul shooter. And you mentioned it, Dick, not a great free throw shooting.
Larry Shyatt, he's been a little bit under the weather. Shaka Smart. What about the job he's done? You think he'll be on some people's list again? But he loves it where he's at.
It's a comfortable fit.
And John Pelfrey right there.
And Matt McCall to his right. A couple of talented assistants.
I thought Pelfrey got a warm deal. I thought it was too quick at Arkansas. Something like you said earlier, you said it so well. People aren't patient today. Everybody wants instant success. And I get a kick out of presidents. They call a guy in and say, we made a coaching change. And the coach looks at him and says, look, all my players graduated. We never had a problem. Kids are great. You know what? If the W's aren't there, the bags are being packed. Savage.
Yep. Finney-Smith with the rebound off the miss.
And they all talk about integrity and loyalty. Give me a break. You got to win. Put it away. Put it away in the books. 29 in a row. 15 in a row. Well, now I got John Saunders, I got Dan Schubert, and I add you, Mark Jones, the 3 Canadian beauties here, the beautiful USA working college hoops.
It's a dream come true. And
well, you're
I pursued my citizenship. I consider myself an American citizen, yep. Been living in this country for most of my adult life, and It is a great college basketball adventure and journey.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Really do the research, and I certainly knew that. But the bottom line is, I know you're going to enjoy this afternoon. There was nothing like family and going to see Shea play today at 4 o'clock. That's going to be, I know, specialty for Santa Fe Community College.
He's been playing well. Proud dad right now.
D1 player out here.
Yeah, nice mid-major prospect.
This guy's
Dad's not trying to pay for school, you know what I mean?
He's a D1 player. I think you can afford school. He's a heck of a D1 player.
As Relaford at the free throw line. Alabama certainly has put forth a great effort today. The result might not reflect it, but they're going to fall to 9-14 overall and 3-7 in conference play.
Well, they put the effort this year on a number of teams, playing a tough schedule. They lost a tough one to Duke and ended up by 10, but it was a tough game. Oklahoma single digits, Wichita State by 5, Xavier by 3, UCLA by 8. I mean, they lost some tough games.
Alabama's still coming after it with some full court pressure. 30 seconds to go. Florida, you know, it says a lot about the coaching staff and the focus of the players collectively, Dick, that this could have easily been a trap game for Florida, looking ahead at Tennessee, who they've lost 3 out of the last 4 against, and Kentucky with 2 big ones coming up. But they came out with a laser-like focus today and didn't overlook these guys.
Well, especially in the second half. Second half made a little adjustment. There's respect right there, man. There's a lot of love there between those 2 guys. I can tell you that.
Final score 78-69. The Gators improving to 21-2 on the season. For Dick Vitale and our talented gang behind the camera you never get a chance to see, I'm Mark Jones. Dick, it's been a slice, buddy.